uh, mandated the entire government to have a wellness policy. So for today, our representative from BHROD, specifically from Employees Welfare Division, will be discussing with you the provisions and provisions of this very important and milestone in welfare. This policy is a significant recognition to our employees who are hard working by providing them the right to rest, recalibrate, and practice. Today's orientation is designed to ensure it doesn't remain a document or a file in the website, but a living document that will inspire and empower our employees to take charge of their well-being. This online orientation aims to clarify the eligibility criteria and documentary requirements for the application of wellness leave. Our representative from Employee Welfare Division will discuss the application and approval process, as well as they will also address potential implementation issues and concerns that might arise from your respective offices, whether this be in central or field offices. So I urge all of you, dear teachers, non-teaching personnel, field personnel, to engage with our employee welfare constructively engaging for today's activity. We encourage you to ask questions, seek clarification, and think about the policy properly in our respective stations. To our HR officers and school head, you will be the bridge of the central office to our teachers to ensure that the understanding and intention of this policy will be effectively understood by our teachers and teaching personnel at the lowest level of governance. As we begin today's session, let us remember that a healthy development begins healthy individual. You as our human resource and human assets in our organization. By taking care, we become more resilient and more compassionate and more effective in our mission to serve the Filipino learners. Again, thank you for your service. Your attendance here signifies value, wellness for every employee, and mabuhay po tayong lahat.
Thank you so much po, Director Dex, for that warm welcome. Okay, so before we officially move on, konting roll call lang po ulit tayo, no, sa ating mga taga-field office. You may send us some heart or like or thumbs up reaction. So nasaan po ang ating mga taga-regional offices? Ayan, so kindly send us thumbs up, heart reaction. Ayan, so marami-rami. How about ang ating mga taga-schools division offices? Ayan. So thank you so much po for joining us. How about schools? Meron po ba kayo pang participants from different schools? Ayan, so inuulan po tayo ng heart and like reaction. Ayan, thank you so much. So, ayan, to give you all a quick overview of today's session, you may refer to the program flow flash on your screen. So, we are very much aware na marami po kayong katanungan patungkol sa implementation guidelines ng ating wellness leave policy. And huwag po kayong mag-alala because we will have a question and answer portion later to all your queries. We also kindly request everyone for your active listening as we go on to the core of wellness leave policy. Dahil baka yung ilang katanungan po ninyo during or doon sa pre-registration or dito sa ating discussion ay masagot po, no? Or mabigyan na ng kalinawan during our discussion. Okay. So now, let's move on to the core of today's session, the wellness leave policy for DepEd personnel. Pursuant to Civil Service Commission Memorandum Circular Number 01, Series of 2026, this policy is a significant step towards supporting our mental and well-being needs. To walk us through the policy details and address frequently asked questions, let's give the floor to Sir Earl Ryan A. Lucido, the Supervising Administrative Officer and Officer in charge of the BHROD Employee Welfare Division. Hello po, Sir Earl.
Hello, good morning. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear po.
Ayan, so hopefully hindi paputol-putol yung aking audio. So, again, good morning to everyone. Welcome to our orientation for our field counterparts, teachers, personnel, and even our contract of services. Probably they're also in the field or joining us for this orientation. I believe everyone is very excited for this on this policy. This is the first time that, of course, for our colleagues under contract of services, for the very first time we'll be able to enjoy this what the regular or permanent employees in the government are enjoying, such as this type of leave. We believe that everyone is very excited, and without further ado, but before that, we're starting the month of March, so I'd like to greet everyone on National Women's Month. So hopefully everyone has their own activities or to kick off the national celebration of the National Women's Month. Ayan. So again, I'll be discussing to you the policy itself, the DepEd Order Number 2, Series of 2026, or our guidelines for the grant of the wellness leave in the Department of Education. So, of course, as mentioned by our Director Dexter Pante, the current administration, of course, led by our President Marcos, and in the assurance through the Civil Service Memorandum Circular, the Civil Service has given go signal for government agencies, national government agencies, even the GOCCs and local government units to implement this wellness leave policy. I believe the Civil Service has really have taken care. Really, they wanted to really take care for the agencies to take care of their employees, and they believe the value of the employees in the national building, national development, and they value the welfare of the employees. No, so they're not just looking into the outputs of our employees, our organization. They see the value of its main asset, which is the people or its personnel, and very grateful for the current administration and the civil service for allowing us government agencies to implement our own guidelines for this type of leave, and we should also recognize that we really need to balance productivity and the welfare of our employees. As we all know, this wellness leave policy is really designed to give every employees in the government the opportunity to take care of themselves, recharge and reset and return with renewed energy for every leave that is being availed of our employees. When employees take time to care for themselves, they come back more motivated, more creative, and more energized and ready to contribute and give their best in the work. And this isn't just about rest or taking time off from work. It's really about investing in our well-being, in all the employees in our organization in DepEd, because we know that healthy, rich, and recharged workforce drives more innovation, creativity, and productivity amongst our employees. So really, beyond the rationale of this is mandated by the Civil Service Commission to this MC number 1, 2026, or the wellness leave policy. This is really the heart of the government for its public sector employees, no, a workforce. So this policy is a very straightforward policy. Hindi siya yung napaka-sophisticated and very technical policy. It's straightforward, very simple policy. However, no, madalas yung sa sobrang kasimplihan ng policy, mas maraming tanong din. Kasi nasanay tayo sa government or in DepEd. For example, in DepEd, nasanay po tayo sa mga policies natin na very detailed, very technical. But this policy actually, kung titingnan po natin siya, no, very straightforward. However, syempre, yung iba talagang gustong mas malinawan about some of the procedures, some of the implications or the aspect of approval, or what would be the considerations for an employee, for a teacher, to be able to be granted this wellness leave policy. So, well, we'll start with the basic one dito sa policy natin. The scope, I've mentioned already the rationale. This is mandated by the civil service. Siguro banggitin ko na lang, no, for us to be very grateful about the decision and the approval of this policy by our Secretary Tani Angara. No, not all agencies really. When we did our benchmarking when we crafted this policy, may mga nalaman kami, no, na may mga government agencies na na-implement nila ito, pero not all personnel within their their agency ay nabigyan ng nagbigyan ng ganitong wellness leave, no. For example, may agencies, I will not mention the agencies, na for regular or permanent employees lang na i-grant ito. But most naman ay na-cover yung sa contract of service. And we are happy that our secretary has granted this not only for our permanent employees, but including our colleagues under contract of service or job order. No? So as to the scope, it's very clear, and we are really grateful that all our eligible DepEd officials and employees, whether you're permanent, coterminous, contractual, and casual employees, across all governance levels, especially including the contract of service and job order personnel, are included or are eligible for this wellness leave policy. Of course, we have to exclude here, since they are being managed by a third party, all those contract of service or job order personnel engaged by the department through a private or agency or firm. Ito yung mga sinasabi natin, mga parang manpower services, yung sinasabi. Madalas yan may mga offices, government agencies na nag-engage ng manpower services, a third party company, to provide yung mga services through manpower. So hindi natin sila covered because there's a specific agency or management that manage them, no, in terms of their personnel. Kumbaga services lang yung nabibigay nila sa atin, so hindi dapat i-cover doon yung some people management aspect. So in-exclude po natin dyan yung mga sinasabing manpower agency or firm, JOs that were engaged through these firms. Excluded po na din dyan yung mga LGU-funded personnel kasi ang nagpapasweldo and nagmamanage ng kanilang mga records or even their performance din at the end, especially yung sa mga LGU-funded personnel, nakakover talaga doon yung local government unit na nakakasakop at nag-provide mismo lang ng support or service sa DepEd. So lahat ng nakapaloob dito sa mga excluded, yung sinasabi natin manpower agency firms or LGU funded personnel, ay hindi po cover ng wellness leave policy ni DepEd. Pero po, dun sa mga LGU funded, ito po, kinaklaro na rin po natin, yung for the LGU funded personnel, since ang sabi nga po sa Civil Service MC number 1, the LGU itself can grant yung wellness leave policy dun sa kanyang mga nasasakupan ng mga personnel, especially the LGU funded na personnel. So, kumbaga, yung mother agency nila, which is the LGU, will be the one to provide this wellness leave to them. Ayan. So, para klaro po, no? Probably this few na lang naman dito sa DepEd na nakaganyan na engagement with DepEd. So, the mother agency or the LGU funded or the firm itself will be the one to grant that to those type of personnel. So, yun. Next slide. So, that's mainly the scope, no? Sa policy natin, ang pagkakaiba din natin dun sa naging MC, Civil Service Memorandum Circular, dinefine po natin dito ng maigi yung mga importanteng aspeto ng polisiya. Sa guidelines natin sa DepEd Order number 2, we make sure that we define clearly what is the wellness leave policy, ano nga bang kakaiba nito dun sa mga existing leave natin, vacation leave for the non-teaching, of course for our teaching, wala silang the usual vacation leave and sick leave. So dinefine natin para magkaroon ng distinction itong wellness leave with the others, no? So of course, wellness leave refers to a type of leave that may be availed of the eligible personnel for the purpose including but not limited to. So emphasize po natin but not limited to health. So marami po kasing nagkakaroon ng misinterpretation na yung wellness leave na yan ay for mental health ang, so medyo nagiging mahigpit daw dapat sa mga requirements pagdating sa mga mental health assessment or diagnosis. Hindi po. So hindi lang po yan ang sa policy po natin, hindi po natin nililimit yan sa mental health care. So even to other physical wellness activities. So pag sinabi natin physical wellness activities, any aspect of our holistic well-being, wellness activities na kailangan natin, gusto natin magkaroon ng parang social wellness, well-being, makatulong tayo, so makasama ang ating mga pamilya, social or mga kaibigan or friends outside, magkaroon ng magmakasyon outside. So kasama po yan, no? So any holistic aspect of our self that we need to take off from work, pwede po yan, no? So, and of course, ito yung pinaka-nagustuhan ko po, no? Kung babasahin po natin yung polisiya ng civil service and we've adapted is sa DepEd order natin, nilagay po natin dyan yung general break from work. Actually, this definition, allowing a general break from work, really simplifies the processes, the whole processes ng guidelines po natin. Hindi siya sobrang higpit as to what type of situation yung pwedeng dapat lang mag-avail nito. So, generally, for any break from work can do, no? So that's why later on sa policy natin, we can explain and we can clarify na there's really no need to attach any documents to support yung ating application for this wellness leave policy. So because of this phrase, no, yung any general break from work. So gusto ng empleyado, even the teachers na avail nito, pwede. Of course, there's certain aspect na kailangan din i-consider of our heads of offices. So but later on I'll discuss that further. So next, so yun yung medyo klarong yung distinction ng wellness leave from of the existing leaves natin, leave benefits. Ito, no, clarify din natin dito yung emergency cases na aspeto. Though, ang sinasabi nga natin, general break from work, medyo hindi dapat mahigpit as to saan paggagamitan. So, pero pagdating sa mga procedures or kumbaga yung procedure, medyo kailangan natin klaruhin ano yung mga consider lang na emergency cases wherein the employee even without filing in advance or not yet filing the application, pwede na niyang ma-avail yung wellness leave. In cases wherein makukonsider siya na emergency. So that's why para maging klaro at ma-distinguish ano yung mga pwedeng hindi agad-agad hingin yung application or papasok ito sa, kumbaga, pwedeng after the wellness leave na-avail, dun pa lang magsasubmit ng Form 6 or no, yung forms for the COS ng wellness leave. So the emergency cases na sinasabi natin dito refers to any sudden or significant deterioration of the mental or emotional state of the eligible personnel that makes them unable to safely or effectively perform their essential job functions, which may be due to any of the following circumstances. So medyo sa definition na to, medyo highlighted lang po yung ating mental or emotional state. Anyway, ito kasi at the end kasi psychosocial yung tinitingnan natin. So syempre, ang pinaka effect yan, whether emergency cases, merong physically na injured, pero at the end, meron pa rin yan effect in terms of mental and emotional, yung capability to readiness to return to work. Hindi talaga pa pwede because mentally, he or she experiencing pain, ganyan. So, makukonsider siya as emergency cases. So, medyo highlighted lang, no? So, don't be confused na highlighted lang yung mental or emotional state. Ano lang po natin siya, tingnan natin siya on a psychological aspect, no? Ang sinasabi dito, yung mga pwedeng deterioration or sudden merong impact doon sa mental and emotional na mga situations due to any following circumstances, but not limited to. So, hindi natin maisulat lahat ng mga scenarios sa policy. So, nag-cite lang tayo ng mga samples. Nandyan yung bereavement. Siyempre, pag mayroong a family member or a relative or even a friend, yung merong a close friend namatay, so medyo meron niya of course effect emotionally and mentally sa ating employee o sa atin individually. So inaano natin yan, consider na of course one of the considerations for emergency case, especially immediate family bereavement due to the sudden loss of an immediate family. Accident, of course, yung accident dito hindi lang patungkol sa na-incur na aksidente ng empleyado, even the immediate family, no? Hindi lang dun sa empleyado, pero kung nari asawa or anak na aksidente, pwede po yun makonsider as emergency cases. Not necessarily the employee itself yung dapat mag-incur ng kumbaga na aksidente. So even the immediate family, pwede po siyang ma-consider as emergency, one of the emergency cases. Calamity, of course, kung yung pamilya, yung bahay na apektuhan during calamity, flood, or may earthquake, medyo na gumuho yung parte ng bahay, or kung nearby mga volcanoes, or yun nga, yung may mga tayo sa Mount Canlaon, no? Yung mga ganun, yung mga ash falls or pagputok ng mga vulkan, pwede po yan, no? So calamity, situations calamity na merong sudden may impact sa bahay o sa inyong sariling pamilya na wherein hindi kayo makakabalik agad ng trabaho kasi medyo may effect yun, no? Probably trauma or even mga structural damages sa bahay, pwede po siya makonsider as emergency cases. Or ito po, no, medyo in-elaborate na in-expound na lang, no, or any extreme conditions and or situations that may significantly contribute to the mental and emotional distress or trigger existing mental health conditions. So may mga clinical kasi tayong pagkakaalam, no, ng mga clinical conditions. Some of our employees, may mga clinical accepted po yun, no, and it's okay. Sinasabi natin, it's okay, it's normal. Iba't iba yung mga pinanggagalingan, iba't iba ang sitwasyon ng bawat isa. So merong mga existing mental health conditions pinagdadaanan yung iba and different ways to manage or cope with this mental health. So anything na could trigger that, no? Probably there's a problem at the house or sa relationship. So, kakatapos lang ng Valentine's ng Feb month, yung sinasabing parang yung month of heart na February, kakatapos lang, no? So, some of the situations na, for example, merong problem with relationships with the spouse or ganyan, mga partners na medyo triggers yung mga ganitong situations, mentally, emotionally, pwede po yan. Pwede siya ma-consider. Of course, there's proper way to explain this to our heads of offices na kung bakit emergency case papasok yung ganong mga situations that really affects you, no, na hindi kayo makakabalik agad sa trabaho or kailangan nyo talaga na mag-off sa work because of this situation. Meron din yan yung mga problem din like sa community, may nangyayaring problema sa community o sa barangay na naapektuhan yung pamilya or yung bahay, yung mga away kapitbahay, sana naman hindi. Pero usually merong mga ganyan, tapos merong kailangan pag-usapan sa barangay. So pwede po yan, pwede ito, no, na somehow affects your mental health. So kailangan ma-resolve or magkaroon ng time for that to manage that situation. Pasok po yun, no? Yung mga away kapitbahay. So pwede po yun, no? First long as ma-explain po natin ng maayos lang sa ating mga heads of offices. So malawak po, no, yung natin, pero in general po, no, yung emergency cases aspect lang po, no, yun lang po yung kailangan tingnan as to yung pwede po ma-exempt doon sa 5 days advance na pagpa-file na application. So medyo may similarity naman po siya kung titingnan natin dun sa existing special emergency leave or special privilege leave na 3 araw na meron ang mga regular or permanent employees in the government. May similarity siya, no. Later on siguro may mga question yung iba, no. Ano yung paano i-apply yung dalawa? So later on kung nakikita natin na merong similarity yung special privilege or special emergency leave with wellness leave because of this definition na emergency case. So next po, balik lang tayo sa previous slide, pero kailangan natin bigyan ng importance yung mental health aspect, since highlighted siya nga dito sa guidelines. Yung sa mental health aspect of applying for this wellness leave, syempre, gusto nating bigyan ng emphasis na really this is a help or a support for our mental health, well-being of our employees, no, because of the Republic Act 11036. Isa to sa mga implementing benefit o mga benefits, mga benepisyo na ma-avail natin to really take care of our mental well-being. So to address mga stresses in life, not just in work, set up, but even outside work, yung mga stresses outside work, life, or events, isa to sa mga suporta para talaga for our employees. Yan. So, next slide po. So, later on po, no, may open forum tayo. So, madedetalye pa natin at mababalikan natin. Ano yung mga pumapasok na mga usual frequently asked questions o mga frequently asked questions nakapaloob doon sa mga definition of terms. So, of course, punta tayo naman dun sa balik tayo sa proseso, part of its purpose and process, yung eligible personnel, yung polisiya na to talaga on wellness leave, sinasabi ng civil service na we adopted directly all eligible personnel are granted a maximum of 5 days of wellness leave per calendar year. So, annually lang po itong 5 araw na maximum of 5 days wellness leave. So, sana, no, monthly sana. Pero okay lang, no, mas mabuti nang meron kaysa wala. Diba? Na idagdag sa ating mga leave benefits. So, maximum 5 days wellness leave per calendar year. So, later, parang may nung inaano sa amin to, no, paano yung sa school, ganyan, sa schools, ano sila, school year ang ano nila, ang parang sinusunod na kalendaryo. Ang ano po dito, calendar year po, no, kasi ang of course for sa aspeto ng human resource or sa personnelling, calendar year, same calendar year talaga, year yung talagang susundin po natin. And I think mas magiging okay po ito, no, talaga for our teachers din kung calendar year. Kasi nga po, of course, may bakasyon ang mga teachers. So, at mas maganda siyang ma-monitor din talaga na per calendar year, magamit siya ng bawat empleyado, even our teachers, on an annual basis. Of course, this wellness leave is really going back. We are promoting. This is to promote mental health and physical wellness of our employees. This is to strengthen employee resilience and reduce absenteeism. Kasi nga, nakakapag-recharge. May mga allowed or sinasabi natin kumbaga authorized leaves na maidadagdag para magamit ng employee na hindi kailangan mabawasan yung mga existing leave or leave credits nila or mabawasan yung sweldo, especially for our contract of services. Kasi kung kailangan nila mag-leave, at least hindi mababawasan yung kanilang sweldo or mga existing leave credits nila. And again, this is to foster and support work environment in compliance with the Mental Health Act. Ayan. So again, klaro po, no? 5 days, maximum 5 days per calendar year. Sige po, next. Ayan. So medyo ihiwalay muna natin yung sa contract of service and our teaching and non-teaching personnel. Unahin natin, of course, our teaching and non-teaching personnel procedures. So as a general guideline for the availment, the wellness leave can be taken for mental health care, physical activities, or general break. So yan, very clear, very general. So malawak yung paggagamitan ng ating wellness leave. So this can be taken consecutively up to 3 days at a time. So yung paggamit nito ay ang pwede lang po ay yung consecutive 3 days. So kung 5 siya, 3 days talaga yung pwede lang pong straight in one-time filing or any separate days. So pwedeng staggered. So sa buong taon, ang daming araw sa isang taon para i-distribute yung 5 araw. So depende talaga yan sa ating mga kaguruan, sa ating mga empleyado, kung saan nila nakikita na mas kailangan nilang ma-avail yung wellness leave. But again, the policy, the guidelines only allowed yung state na paggamit nito up to 3 days yung consecutive days na wellness leave. So pwedeng staggered, pero yung iba kasi gusto straight dire-diretso, so hindi pwedeng dire-diretso yun yung 5 araw, no? So yung application, pag-file nito, dapat 3 days lang yung makita na dire-diretso. So, ito, no, kaya dinefine natin na maayos yung emergency cases because as to the civil service and our guidelines, applications must be filed. And any other existing benefits din natin like yung vacation leave, even the forced leave na yung for our non-teaching, yung pagpa-file dapat somehow merong advance information or advance filing din na 5 days before the availment makapag-file, no, in advance. This is to give time for our heads of offices to manage din, no, especially since cover dito yung sa teacher para maiwasan yung disruption of classes or maayos yung kung sino yung papalit, kung may teacher na mag-a-avail, bigyan natin ng enough time yung ating mga school heads or ating mga heads of offices na maayos yung ma-determine kung sino yung pwedeng pumalit for the time na magli-leave yung isang teacher or yung isang empleyado. So, kaya importante po yung maging we comply with these requirements na 5 days in advance for the continuous operations and of our school classroom, the delivery of our education and our operations. So, but again, except for emergency cases, this is dapat mo-consider, of course, ng mga heads of offices, yung mga emergency cases na nabanggit doon sa definition. So, nandiyan na yung na nakapag-enumerate tayo, bereavement, or sudden emotion, any situations that causes sudden emotional distress, no. Nasa ano rin naman yan nasa way of the teacher or the employee kung paano niya i-explain or i-explain ano yung mga situations na yon na mako-consider as emergency cases. Basta papasok nga po doon sa definition po natin. The leave, again, same with the yung special privilege leave or emergency leave, no. This leave is non-cumulative, non-commutable, so hindi po siya nako-convert to cash. Hindi rin po siya naiipon sa buong serbisyo natin. So every end of the year, pag may mga hindi po nagamit na wellness leave po natin, hindi po siya maki-carry over sa susunod na taon. So, mapo-forfeit na po yun. So, another set of 5 wellness leave naman sa susunod na mga taon. So, hindi po siya tulad ng vacation leave for the non-teaching, vacation and sick leave na naki-carry over at naiipon. So, ito po, no, same nga siya ng special emergency leave or special privilege 3 days na non-commutable to cash at non-cumulative. So, of course, we've emphasized this also in the guidelines, no. Confidentiality is very important in filing this leave, no. So, all mental health related information is protected under the Data Privacy Act of 2012. So, hindi actually talaga po because of the term na general break or kahit po nakalagay nga po doon for mental health concerns or well-being, hindi talaga po ni-require na meron pang mga tawag doon, diagnosis na kailangan naka-attach, no. Siguro this is very important for our heads of offices, our school heads na maintindihan na mas hindi masyadong maprotektahan yung ating yung privacy ng ating mga empleyado, mga teachers sa pag-file and ma-manage ng mga applications ng wellness leave natin, no. Kung kailangan ng supporting documents ng school head to determine kung emergency yung cases na yon, probably a simple letter lang from the teacher or from the employee explaining lang ng maayos kasi yung mga health yung mga abstract, yung mga health diagnosis from mental health practitioner, hindi masyado kasi medyo magiging very detailed yung aspeto na yon, pero as simple as letter lang, no, just to support yung application na after ng magamit niya, no, because of emergency cases. A simple letter lang would do to justify yung emergency cases yung nangyari. That's why late na nakapag-file yung ating empleyado or ating teacher. So again, very important, maprotektahan po natin yung data privacy ng ating mga empleyado. Next. So ito, no, for the permanent teaching and non-teaching personnel, we'll be using our existing civil service form 6 or leave form. So 2 copies, parang the usual po, no. And all heads of offices or school heads shall ensure the continuous delivery of services on our class and or classes in granting the wellness leave of our personnel. So kaya po very important talaga yung kung hindi naman po emergency cases, as much as possible 5 days before the leave, no, ma-file natin advance or ma-apply natin in advance yung ating wellness leave for them to really manage yung sino yung mga papalit at gagawa ng trabaho habang naka-leave yung empleyado. For teaching personnel, of course, the school head, medyo highlighted natin yung sa setup ng school. The school head shall specifically assign a reliever teacher or substitute to fill in for the classes of those on wellness leave. For this purpose, the teachers with relieving duties shall of course be eligible to the teaching overload pay kasi kung sobra na nga yung kanyang load tapos magre-reliever pa siya, so that's on top of yan. So overload na siya, makukonsider na siya as overload, so he or she is entitled na for an overload pay in accordance with Debit Order number 5 series of 2024 or any future amendment thereto. So nilagay po natin ito para maging klaro na of course nakatulong po yun, yung procedure na yon para talaga pong cover ang teacher para po hindi ma-disrupt yung ating klase at hindi mag-suffer po yung of course yung mga kabataan na mawawalan sila ng mga teacher. So kaya po na-specify natin na dapat required po na may substitute or reliever po na magte-take on dun sa klase. Hindi naman po pwedeng nag-leave yung teacher ay wala na pong magtuturo dun sa mga bata. So of course for the reliever, dapat merong namang additional incentive or pay kung naging reliever po siya. So teachers shall file their wellness leave application using the prescribed CSE Form 6 in duplicate copies. So given po na naglabas na tayo ng pag-guidelines nito and civil service form naman ay ang gagawa ng ng mga versions or yung nagmamandato niyan ay ang civil service until the civil service officially issues the newly revised form that includes, kasi kung titingnan natin yung existing Form 6, wala po doon yung wellness leave option, but meron naman po doon others na ititik or parang i-specify na lang yung category using yung others sa item 6A by indicating na lang wellness leave, Civil Service MC number 1 series 2026 para ma-determine po ng ating personnel or HR na itong final niyo po ay wellness leave using the CSE Form 6. So hintayin na lang natin ang kung naglabas ng CSE ng bago, of course hindi na natin kailangan maglagay sa others. Probably baka nandun na talaga siya. May specific box na siya that we can tick. So until such time na maglabas po ang civil service on that. So sa ngayon, sa others na lang po muna natin ilalagay yung wellness leave as our application. For the school head shall recommend the school head shall recommend the approval of the application to the Assistant Schools Division Superintendent or ASDS. So yun ang proseso of pag-akyat ng recommendation for the wellness leave ng ating mga teachers. Next. Ayan. So, sa non-teaching pala, nabigyan lang natin na yung sa teaching. Sa non-teaching, almost the same naman po, ang pagkakaiba lang naman yung sa kung sino yung mga approving. Ang sinusunod naman dun sa non-teaching naman ay of course sa mga opisina, whether division office, regional office, or central office. Ang susundin naman po doon ay yung existing nating signing and approving authority na guidelines natin sa DepEd. Yung categories of recommending approval and approving authority, yun naman po ang susundin natin sa central office, regional, or division. So medyo hinighlightan po natin dito sa orientation yung sa teacher. But ito yung sa part ng contract of service, since this is the very first time na nagkaroon po ng leave at given na hindi naman po sila covered nung sa CSE forms ng civil service, we were in the guidelines we developed yung specific wellness leave application form for our contract of service and GO personnel. Since covered naman po talaga sila under our guidelines and this, as our secretary has approved na sige bigyan din ng mga contract of services natin ng GO personnel nitong wellness leave. So ang pinaka-crucial lang po under the CSE MC1, the provision of wellness leave for our school-based and office-based COS and GO personnel shall be indicated into the individual contracts and other relevant issuances covering their engagement. Ito no, in-adapt natin itong provision to from the Civil Service Memorandum Circular kasi this is very important given na there's no employer relationship nga between the COS and GO personnel, nag-govern lang talaga ng engagement between the department at with this personnel, now this type of personnel ay yung mga kontrata ng DepEd and these individual contracts ng ating mga COS and GO. So, on a legal matter, on a legal aspect, it is better to really indicate this benefit in the contracts ng ating mga GO or contract of service personnel. Siguro later magtatanong, paano po yung kasi naglabas ang implementing guidelines si DepEd February na. So yung iba nakapag-engage na, ng contract ng January 1 pa lang kasi syempre kung naging na-extend or na-renew sila, so paano po yon? So later on, ipapakita natin yan doon sa transitory provision ng guidelines. But before that, banggitin lang natin na for our COS, ang Annex A attached to the guidelines, DepEd Order Number 1, yun na po yung gagamiting form ng ating mga contract of services and GO personnel when filing their wellness leave. So, wellness leave available by COS and GO personnel shall be without salary deduction. Naka-bold po yan ha. So, ito po, ang pinag-usapan natin again with COS and GO personnel, yung directly engaged or hired individually by the Department of Education, whether ng school, ng central office, ng RO, ng SDO, or ng school. Again, hindi po kasama dito yung mga manpower services or yung mga engaged through a firm or yung mga LGU-funded personnel. So, tanging yung mga directly hired lang po ni DepEd individually. So, ito po, without salary, klaro po, pag sila po ay nag-apply at na-approve, medyo lagyan po natin ng ano po yun, no? Ng emphasis, kailangan po approve, of course, yung kanilang application, yung wellness leave application nila para makonsider po yung leave, of course, at hindi po, pag ginamit, hindi po mabawasan sa sweldo ng ating mga colleagues na sa mga COS at GO personnel. So, hence the concerned personnel shall continue to receive their full salary during the days they utilize the wellness leave. Ayan. So, ito po yung wellness leave form for our contract of service colleagues. So, hindi po ito yung gagamitin ng mga teachers, no, and or mga permanent na teaching personnel. May mga nababukas kami nung lumabas to sa Facebook ng DepEd. Yan na daw ba yung gagamitin ng teacher or ng iba? Hindi po. Very clear naman po. This is only for our contract of service personnel. Kung makikita po yung buong annex yan dun sa DepEd order, may heading po yan na ipakita lang dito sa presentation sa PowerPoint, yung mismong form. Pero yung buong annex na to, no, yung Annex A sa taas yan, may label yan at for contract of service and GO personnel lang po itong wellness leave form na to. So, yung details naman po almost the same doon sa Form 6, inadapt din po natin dyan. Pero yung sa Certification of Wellness Leave Credits, yung sa section na to na to be accomplished by our authorized officer or processor, which is our HR, medyo nadagdagan lang ng mga ipaprocess yung ating HR. Wala po tayong choice. May po di po sa personnel, sa HR dito sa wala po talagang choice kasi this is a human resource function. Tayo po talaga ang mag-back ng mga leave credits ng mga contract of services. So, medyo madadagdagan lang po yung mga ipaproseso. But then again, we're happy naman that merong benepisyo yung ating mga contract of services and GO personnel. So, yung sa part naman to, no, na babantayan na 5 days, madali lang naman, no? 5 days yung maximum in a year, so para ma-keep track. So ang ano lang po namin sa HR dito, medyo wala sa PowerPoint, sa presentation, since we are also addressing this orientation to our counterparts sa field, HR. we would appreciate po talaga that each of the schools division or RO, mga personnel units po natin will come up with their sort of monitoring, kahit po Excel po siya, a system. You can come up with your own system po, no? Wala naman pong prescribed si DepEd Central Office to monitor this, no? So kahit nga po offline or Excel based, to keep track lang po, no, yung mga leave, mga wellness leave ng ating mga contract of services. I know naman sa permanent, meron naman yung the usual service card, so leave card, may ganon. So the usual, pero ito kasi bago for the COS. So you can come up with your own monitoring or tracking system to keep track of the leave forms or applications by our contract of service personnel or job order personnel. So ito po, so recommendation, balik lang tayo dun sa form. Siguro magtataka kayo, no, going back dun sa first part, sa upper part, wrinkle, yan sa upper part. May siguro tatanong, saan po pwedeng mag-sign yung ating contract of service, no? Since wala pong parang similar sa Form 6 na signature part ng nag-a-apply. So, pwede na po dun sa mismong taas ng name, overprinted, para po maging parang official yung application ng ating contract COS or GO, kahit sa taas na lang po, no? We apologize na miss out po namin yung part na yon, but anyway, there's no harm naman na pwede naman doon sa taas po ng pangalan lagay ng signature. Then the rest naman po, yung details, region, SDO, anong unit or school, contract of service siya or GO personnel, tapos yung date of filing, duration of leave, yung dates mismo nakalagay, tapos reasons for purpose. Ito po medyo kumbaga gusto natin maiwasan na nga yung medyo detalye, especially para maprotektahan yung data privacy. Wala na masyadong parang requirements na mga diagnosis or so lalagay na lang, titik na lang po natin kung mental health care, general break from work, or physical wellness activities or others. Ayan. So then sa bottom part, again, yung sa certification, yung ating HR or authorized processor or officer will be the one to verify this, certify this, tapos of course the head of the office will be the one to recommend if this is for approval or for disapproval. Yun, yung number of days din na-approve, ilan yung na-approve, then of course the authorized officer official will be the one to following nga yung ating DepEd order number 1, designation of actually yung pinaka dito yung sa signing authorities, signing authorities under the leave part, yung HR action. So yun po yung susundin natin. Ayan, so next, medyo malapit na tayo sa end ng policy guidelines. So yung transitory provision, yung tanong nga na this order shall take effect actually upon its approval, publication. So naging effective po yun yung Feb 13, day before the Valentine's. So upon the effectivity of this order, so ito po, para po our legal, dumaan po kasi ito sa legal department po natin sa central office. So yung usapin nga sa contract of services na may mga na-engage na pero hindi na isulat yun sa mga kontrata ng mga na-engage noong starting January 1, 2026. So all service agreements or contracts entered already by the department with COS or GO personnel commencing January 1, 2026 onward shall be entitled to wellness leave, But that's only for that particular situation kasi yung mga na-engage na ng January 1. Pero may mga pumapasok or mga na-engage po tayo na hire na mga COS o GO personnel sa panahon na ngayon, or this time and onwards. It's being recommended po talaga na sundin natin yung guidelines natin, yung na sa lahat na po ng magiging engagement after na-issue na po yung ating guidelines, DepEd Order number 2, kailangan po nakaspecify na sa mga kontrata. So, naging ano lang po, no, parang naging ano lang po yung nangyaring January 1, mga contracts. So, wala pang guidelines. So, sinasabi lang dito na cover pa rin kahit hindi na naihabol dun sa mga kontrata po nila. But, of course, it is really recommended for the mga upcoming contracts, engagement ng mga contract of services na bago, it is better na maisama na po sa individual contracts po nila itong benefits para po maiwasan po natin yung problema with COA. Yung mga ganun, Commission of Audit, mga audits about not following yung guidelines ng civil service about engagement of our contract of services. So I think that's it, no? Tama ba, Twinkle? That's my we will be moving towards the frequently asked questions na na-receive po natin, tama ba? KZ during our registration. Ayan. So, even to our, yung check namin yung Facebook page ng DepEd, tingnan namin yung mga usual tanong ng madla ng ating mga kaguruan, mga teaching personnel, and even our colleagues na contract of services. So, I think for this part, medyo skip na natin to, medyo na-i-explain naman natin, of course, yung definition ng wellness leave. This is a really for mental health care, physical wellness activities, and general break from work. So, very broad, very basic, very general. So, marami siyang consideration. I mean, marami siyang pwede talagang paggamitan. Then, yung availment, again, the teachers, permanent, non-teaching personnel, whether permanent, coterminous, fixed term, casual, temporary, substitute, or provisional, regardless of age, sex, gender, ito medyo meron po tayong inclusive and equal employment opportunity or EOP aspect na wala po dapat ma-discriminate for this type of benefit, wellness because of their background. So dapat po inclusive tayo when we manage this wellness leave applications. So, and of course, for COS and GAO personnel directly hired by DepEd is entitled for this. So, the usual naman, parang ito yung the usual na tanong. So, let's proceed to the succeeding questions or frequently asked questions. Ito, ang dami nito sa Facebook pa lang. Can I take all 5 days at once? Klaro naman po dun sa presentation natin, sa guidelines itself, even the civil service, sinundan lang po natin, i-adapt po natin yung guidelines ng civil service din na hindi po natin ito magagamit na 5 days straight. The wellness leave may be taken either consecutively for a maximum of 3 days lang po, yung pwedeng dire-diretso, or on a separate non-consecutive days po, probably the logic behind this, the reason behind this, bakit ganito nilagay ni civil service, parang ayaw naman nila na parang Monday to Friday, for example, Mondays to Friday, talagang wala yung isang empleyado. Probably because the civil service is, and of course, DepEd, since kinonsider din niya ito, balance din, try to balance din yung aspeto ng kumbaga, operations, services, and welfare of the employee. So, maximum of 3 days is the only allowed consecutive, So hindi po natin hindi po pwedeng gamitin dire-diretsong 5 days. 5 days po, So Monday to Friday, parang wala po tayong makikitang ganon dapat na application. So pag ganun po nakita po natin, especially sa mga school head di nandito or mga HRs po natin, mga processor, kailangan natin i-return for verification and for adjustment yung kanilang application kung may makita po tayong dire-diretsong 5 days. So Monday to Friday, agad yun. Return to sender ulit yun. So next question, when should I file for it? So the application, as mentioned sa policy, the application for wellness leave shall be filed at least 5 days. So pwedeng more than 5 days ahead before its utilization or avail ng wellness leave. And again, except may mga pwede lang po itong i-consider na pwedeng hindi pa po nakapag-file pero magamit na, or pwedeng yung pag-file niya ay after pa ng tawag dito, ng leave, or pwedeng one day ahead na lang saka nakapag-file, hindi na nasunod yung at least 5 days. For emergency cases lang po, no. It must be filed immediately upon the official's employees reporting back or after they report back to work. So pwedeng ganun, no, basta ma-explain lang po ng maayos na the reason why is because pumasok po dun sa definition po natin ng emergency cases. So do I need to submit a medical certificate? No, so again, because of the Data Privacy Act, hindi na po kailangan talaga, no. Unlike sick leave, wellness leave does not require a medical certificate. Sa sick leave kasi, no, kasi hiwalay. So sa mga non-teaching permanent, no, mayroong vacation, may sick leave. Si sick leave sa policy na Omnibus Rules on Leave, no, si sick leave po talaga may sariling sick leave na credits na nadadagdag sa atin every month. So medyo mahigpit po talaga doon sa sick leave na dapat merong medical certificates na pinapakita, no, under the Omnibus Rules on Leave, under the sick leave type benefit. Ito kasi, no, ang pagkakaiba nito dahil nga doon sa term na general break from work. So medyo maluwag po talaga because of that term. So hindi natin kailangan ng medical certificate. Ito, nagiging consideration lang talaga ito, no. Of course, in the appreciation of the school head or the head, especially dun sa sinasabing emergency case na pwede after the wellness leave na avail, dun po magsasubmit ng justification bakit hindi siya nag-wellness leave siya na hindi nag-submit 5 days ahead ng application. So ito mga magiging consideration, but definitely this is not required. This would only be parang appreciated during the consideration dun sa situation ng emergency cases. But again, hindi po siya kailangan i-submit. So this is in view of the Data Privacy Act of 2012. Can I convert? Next question. Can I convert unused wellness leave to cash? Of course, hindi po siya commutable. Hindi po siya magamit for monetization. Hindi po siya magamit for terminal leave. Kung dun sa mga dahil hindi nga po siya naipon, ibabawas push or mafu-forfeit pag hindi nagamit sa bawat taon. So hindi po siya commutable. Non-cumulative, hindi siya naki-carry over taon-taon. So as a teacher, can I use this during class days? Yes po. So dahil kinover nga po nito ang mga teachers with the appreciation na during class day or during school year, pwede pong magamit ng ating mga teachers. But the important part of this policy is to ensure that, especially for school heads, to ensure that to assign relievers to fill in the classes of teachers will be availing of this leave. So for these 4 teachers will be relieving duties shall be eligible. May teaching overload pay naman po yung mag-reliever. So again, hindi during class days po pwede po itong magamit. So buong calendar year po siya ma-avail ng ating mga kaguruan. So, how to file for wellness leave? Na-mention po natin doon, using for non-teaching and related teaching personnel. Same process with the vacation and sick leave lang naman po siya. Ititik lang yung others, lalagay lang wellness leave, CSEMC, doon sa others. Tapos, following the signing authority ng sa personal action, leave approval, susundin po natin yung recommending and authorized approving authority doon po sa ating proseso. For teaching, same goes, CSE Form 6. Sa others po, ilalagay yung type of leave, wellness leave, then the school head recommends the approval to the ASDS. So, meron lang pong, no, for the HRMO will fill out item 7A to track your remaining wellness leave credits. I think meron po ano po for our teachers na pang monitor 5 days total per year, and we'll keep you updated on your balance. Parang may tracking po na 7 item dun sa 7A ng Form 6, may yung certification of leave credit. Doon po ilalagay kung yung 5 days nga po na wellness leave. So yung part doon ng certification